Welcome back. It's Friday the 13th, and this week, what's brown and sits on a piano? Beethoven's Last Movement.
Oh,
I'm Derek.
I'm Whitney.
I took a turd on a piano earlier.
This is Bad Movies, Worst People, Friday the 13th edition.
Go, 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 go.
Well, so I'll say right off the top, we were supposed to have a guest on this because, you know, Zip pulled out of the bag this one, his favorite one.
Yeah.
And then life circumstances kept him from being here, which is crummy. I think I would have had more fun watching it with him.
I mean, I still had a lot of fun watching it. And from his text, it's a good thing that he wasn't able to be here.
Okay.
So
Yes, yeah. But we will have him back, obviously, for other Friday the 13th, but that's not till next year.
Yeah.
But I told him we'd get him back before then. Maybe at some point we talk about The Burning, which is another really cool Jersey set slasher, kind of based on the same somewhat real serial killer guy that the Friday the 13th series is based on.
I'm sure it's okay.
It's an awesome movie, and it's the one that Tom Savini went and worked on instead of doing this movie.
Oh,
And I know he likes that, so maybe we'll do that one day. But the one we're talking about today is Friday the 13th, Part 2.
Part 2.
Directed by Steve Miner, who was, I believe, a producer on the first one. And then Sean Cunningham had no interest in coming back, as did not Tom Savini or Betsy Palmer or anybody else, really, because they were like, why has he been alive this whole time?
Yeah. How many years between the first one and this one? Because this is 81.
They said 5 years in universe, but this is 1 year in real life.
Okay.
Oh, so they're just pumping them out.
Oh, yeah. This one came out May 1st, 1981.
Okay.
So right at the peak of summer viewing.
And in case you didn't know that, dude Mark in a wheelchair is wearing a shirt that says 81 on it.
Oh, is he?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
His jersey.
I just figured he was a wide receiver or tight end.
He used to be until he
Can't
got paralyzed.
Can't be both.
He's
either
also
wide receiving or you keep that in tight.
I mean, he is training. He is in
also,
training.
he's a welcome back, kind of.
Is he?
Yeah, Whitney wouldn't recognize him because she wasn't on the episode, but he was kind of in Remo Williams' The Adventure Begins.
Oh, yeah. I never saw that.
He played Jim on the soap opera that our fake Korean guy was watching on TV. So he was on a fake soap opera that was made for a movie that nobody saw.
We saw it.
Well, we saw it.
B-Rocker
I'm gonna
loves
own
that
that
movie.
I'm gonna own that shit on 4K.
I believe Kino Lorber has it only, at least on Blu-ray.
Yeah.
But I will not be buying it.
I will.
But this movie comes in at a sweet 87 minutes.
I wonder
Yes.
why it was 87 and not 81.
Well, because they had to have the 7-minute recap of the first movie.
Dude, I was wondering. I was like, this, because you said beforehand how short it was. I put it on. I was like, could have been like a fucking 80-minute movie. This is in and out if we don't need a recap.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, up till the recap, I paused it and looked, and it was just under 7 minutes. So.
And I don't mind the recap because I don't watch these all the time. So I was like, all right, cool. It's good to see. Like, when did we watch that last one? Like 9 years ago?
God, it was last
December?
year. Yeah, it was December.
You might hear squeaking in the background. My daughter's dog is a puppy, and
If you were watching, you saw me holding him at the beginning.
but this guy has directed other movies that we'll have to talk about one day. So he directed Friday the 13th Part 3, so obviously we'll get to that eventually. He directed The First House, Warlock. Have you ever heard of My Father the Hero?
Yes.
Oh, with Gerard Depardieu?
Yeah, he directed that one.
Yeah, we got to make sure we get some underage Katherine Heigl in a bikini shots for that movie.
And he directed Big Bully with Tom Arnold and
Rick Moranis.
Rick Moranis, yeah.
I remember that too.
I kept thinking
Yeah,
Zelensky,
dude.
and I was like, no, that's not his real name. And it was written by Ron Kurz, whose only credit I recognized was
That's
the
a
first
college
Friday the
frat
13th.
name. Dude. What's up, Ronkers? This is Ronkers right here, dude. He fucking does some great fucking slasher movies. Isn't that right, Ronkers? Ronkers, toss me a brew.
Well, the best part is he didn't actually write the first one. I'm sure we talked about it when we did it, but he just did rewrites on it.
He supplied the beer when they were in studio. They're like, hey, Ronkers, make a fucking BWEWRUN beer run.
That was pretty smooth, dude. I like
Yeah,
that.
it was. I'm like,
What's his song?
oh,
BWEWRUN beer run. BWEWRUN beer run. All we need is a 10 and a 5, something, some sort of drive.
BWEWRUN beer run.
All right, so this is... We'll do the box office game. This is a Friday the 13th movie.
It made $1.5 million.
How much did it cost to make it?
It
$1
cost $1.25 million.
Is
Okay,
this
so it made more than that.
so? Is this world or
I only have one number. I'm pretty sure it was mostly... they called it worldwide, but I think it was pretty much domestic.
yeah?
so.
I'm gonna go
you wanna
low.
go
I'm gonna
first?
say I'll go. You usually let me go first.
I'm a gentleman.
I'm gonna say just 2 million.
I'll go 7.
You guys have little faith in these Friday the 13th movies. This one made $21.7 million.
Wow!
Damn.
Yeah. They always
mean,
make a lot of money, especially the early ones. I mean, because they cost nothing.
And I think I'm
kids
just
love
so
them.
used to these later ones that are just fucking
Trash.
garbo that they're pumping out. I mean, like we did, not for this franchise, but like Halloween Resurrection, that era, because I was working in a movie theater, I'm so much more familiar with, and I hate them, and they're garbage, and they make no money. We are all dumber for having watched this. May God have mercy on your souls.
Yeah, but these early ones, I mean, when they were costing nothing, and we're at the height right now of slasher movies, you know what I mean? We've had Halloween, we've had the first Friday the 13th, so we've had, you know, some of these other ones like The Burning and Black Christmas.
What year's
stuff,
Nightmare? Nightmare on Elm Street?
So,
79,
no. Nightmare was in the 80s, but
81.
Nightmare on
I don't think we've had it yet.
1984. So yeah, that one has not happened yet.
Okay.
So this one was not as cut up as some of the later ones we've already talked about, because for those who don't know, we do these out of order. We draw them out of a magic bag, which I have
It's a
sitting
pillowcase with an eye socket cut out.
here. But there was there's the infamous double impalement in this movie.
Ooh.
That was originally
Liked it.
cut to avoid an X rating, but like there's a gorier version than what we saw, because all we really see is a spear go through a bed.
Yeah.
Apparently there's another part that was cut. That's what they had to cut to get rid of the X rating. Or actually, I'm an idiot and I didn't read my whole thing that I wrote down myself 4 days ago. They recovered it from a VHS tape and restored it, and it's included in this box set. So this sweet Shout Factory box set that I have of Friday the 13th actually does have it. So what we got was the version that was cut for an X rating, which doesn't make any sense.
That is a pretty sweet box set.
It is.
Did you get
Look at my
the
big box.
double impalement, Jack?
Uh-uh. It would have been Jeff and
Sandra?
Sandra. I had such a hard time with these names, dude. I don't know. I think it's because it's a horror movie where like I know almost all of you are going to die. So it's like, why should I get to know you? It's like working at a fucking restaurant when somebody comes in like, hi, I'm Billy. I'm like, for the first month, you don't have a name. We'll see if you're still here, Tom.
But this one especially, though, it's like the first one tried to give our characters some kind of like inner lives, and we've seen it in some of the later ones. I actually appreciated this one. It's just like, look, here's some people. You'll learn one or two things. This guy's a douchebag. This guy played football. This guy is a nerd. Let's move on.
They have the perfect, when the camp counselor's there, he might as well be like, okay, let's see. Do we have the slutty girls right up front? We have the slutty girls. Do we have a buff guy? Buff guy over here. Looking for sexy guy. I see sexy guy over here. He's going to try and sleep with everybody. I seem to be missing a black guy. Oh, there he is. Got a black guy back there. He's got the rainbow suspenders. Comic relief. You'll do.
Ted.
You're not that funny, but you will work, Ted. Do you do any sort of like goofy voices? You bet, boss. Okay, he's in.
You are skinny and you are redhead, so you'll count.
Yeah, that's
Comic
why.
relief.
That's why I gained so much weight. People weren't taking me seriously.
And then we need the final girl. Where is our final girl at?
We don't have a final girl yet, but I do hear somebody driving up. We're gonna make her the final girl.
Okay.
So I mentioned that Tom Savini didn't do this movie, which
It shows.
It's pretty obvious. But that left room for Stan Winston to come in, who is famous for Jurassic Park and some other stuff. And then because of some scheduling conflicts and whatever happened, he ended up having to leave. So then they brought in this other guy, Carl Fullerton. And I think the gore is fine, but it's definitely not up to par with Savini.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
it's definitely fine.
It leans closer to, what did we watch? 5?
5 and 7.
Yeah.
5, the one with Roy, or the one with
5 is the one with Roy. 7's the one with Carrie.
So
7
like how
is the one with Weekend at Bernie's, please.
So it's like it was closer to the lack of the kill shots. Like you see him coming, and then you see the after.
Well,
Or
I
maybe
know
you do
we
see,
got a
like-
lot of good penetration and stuff.
Yeah.
Number
Some.
7 was the one that we watched where everything was just
Yeah,
Up
everything
until
was cut
and then
out. That's
after.
where
It was
the
new.
John Carl Beekler got all his cool kills taken out.
I'll tell you what you notice it the most, or what I notice it the most, is like when they're slitting throats or doing like a slow cut, because they take the knife and they do the slit, and then there is some blood, but it is not a fucking Savini amount of blood. That's
It
the
is
thing.
not.
So that's where
It's
I'm like,
probably more real-
definitely not Savini.
It's probably more realistic in all honesty. When you do a quick cut, it takes a second for the blood to come out.
I'm not watching this for realism. I'm looking to see Sloth and Overalls start banging some fucking skulls.
The closest we get to Savini is when Jason gets his shoulder blasted there at the end with the machete because it's just spurting. Not nearly the level, but it is spurting.
Yeah.
It is.
The claw hammer to the back of the head, Savini style, would have been like a close up of the skull collapsing in kind of thing.
Yep. The blood just.
Oh, it would have
like,
been
look.
just a gusher.
He's like, look, I found this real human skull. It still has a brain in it, but the guy's dead. So
I found this dead body down the road.
I found a live. He's a pedophile. So does anybody have any objections to me just hammering
for
him
it.
with the claw
Let's
side?
do it.
No, we're good. We're good.
Pedophile
We're good.
chop?
All right. Pedophile chop.
This is the forests of New Jersey. I'm sure I can find a dead body that we can mutilate.
Oh yeah, you throw a rock, you just hit a dead body, or you just made one.
But I found a thing here that's I found very entertaining. So Roger Ebert famously did not like the first movie, and he didn't really do a review
He's
of
wrong.
it. And he didn't like any of them. But this is the only one that he did a print review for. It was a 0.5 star out of 4, and the review says everybody in the audience imitated hoot owls and hyenas. Another girl in the film went into her room, started to undress. 5 guys sitting together in the theater started a chant, "We want boobs." And then finally, his review ended with, "This review will suffice for Friday the 13th movie of your choice."
I
Yeah.
mean, yeah.
So in other
yeah.
words, just take this review. People were hooting and howling. They wanted boobs. Copy paste on every one that comes out.
We
from now on.
only got one set of boobs in this one.
Man, they were good too. They're welcome backs.
Yeah, you recognized her?
Oh yeah,
From what?
Midnight Madness.
Did Derek already tell you?
No,
You recognize?
No, she's
fuck
she
yeah, I
was-
recognized her. She was the second pair of boobs I wanted to see the most.
The one that I wanted to see the most is the one we never got. We got side
Jack-
boob on her. Did you get the
No,
side
I meant
boob
like
of her?
in Midnight Madness. I
Oh.
wanted to see the darker hair, not Sunshine, but the other chick.
Well, she is Sunshine.
This is Sunshine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wanted to see the other chick's boobs.
Oh, okay.
I want to see them all. Really, I'm like
Yeah.
a fucking young boy in the middle of a Halloween or Friday the 13th movie. Just we want boobs. Jack wants boobs. I mean,
Bleep wants boobs.
Bleep and I have talked about it before. Why it's so obligatory to have boobs in like these late 70s, 80s movies. There wasn't readily available porn. Like you couldn't just go Google medium-sized boobs on your Pornhub. You had to wait until the movie came around, and hope your mom wasn't walking by. We would go, oh yeah. And then, no one's walking around. Rewind. Oh yeah. Rewind. Oh yeah.
One day your parents sit down and they're like, well, let's see what this Friday the 13th is about. And it gets to that part and it's all like janky and shit. The tracking's all fucked up.
Same thing as Total Recall with the 3 boobs. That's just a fucking blank spot on the VHS.
That's why I'm glad I had DVDs and I was like, skip back. He's got
all the chapters written down. All right, if I go to 216, I get to see 3 nipples. But if I go to 405, I get to see 2.5.
But so this movie starts with Alice from the first movie, Adrienne King. The one we talked about was famously stalked by a real person in real life.
Zip had mentioned that she really didn't even want to do this one, and that she requested to be murdered soon.
Yeah. So
can I be killed soon? Just asking.
So it starts with her having nightmares about the first movie. We get all that. I do like she's looking around the house and everything's all like spoopy because like she wakes up to crashing noises. There's like a spooky cat. There's mysterious phone calls. There's all this stuff going on, and then she opens the fridge and there's a fucking head in the fridge. I'm like, whose head is this?
It's Mom's.
Was it Mom's?
Yes.
Why is it so much worse in the later part of the movie? It's only
because she didn't put it in a salad crisper.
Because it's been
I was
rotting.
like, he kept it in a fridge. I don't understand.
Yeah, you got to put it in a salad crisper. Otherwise, this thing's gonna smell like every condiment you forgot to close. Mom, you smell a bit like mustard, and a lot like cabbage.
You smell like bread and butter pickles.
Ooh, that's disgusting. Those are the worst pickles. I'm traumatized from the time I went to the store and bought those, not knowing what they were. Traumatized.
Derek loves bread and butter.
I like them.
Oh, you would, dude.
Only in certain settings.
Like what? When you want to make yourself vomit? Like you're looking to taste bile?
A turkey sandwich.
Yeah, turkey sandwich, a big fatty burger.
No, I need that sharp dill.
And not,
you know what?
Not just random bread and butter pickles. I'm not buying Vlasic or any of that shit. It's got to be the Bubbies. Them's the high class bread.
Dude, buy the flaccid. You might as well get a flaccid pickle up there. Can I get a flaccid pickle from our burger? Go on.
She gets killed with a slow ice pick to the temple.
Yeah,
which is not the nicest
was it the
way.
temple? I thought it was her cheek. I was like,
he was trying to lobotomize her. He saw it in a fucking magazine. He was like, I got this.
The magazine's from the 40s.
Whoops.
He's like, I've seen One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. I know how to do this.
Here's how to lobotomize your neighbor. Also, watch out for those crusty little Germans coming over here.
Why are they crusty Germans?
No, because they got the whole way over across the ocean. They're crusty. Crustaceans. Where do you think that comes from? Crusty comes from crustaceans.
They have semen crusted on their clothes.
Oh,
disgusting, Whitney. You take something nice like crusty Germans and you make it gross.
Yep, that's me.
So we start meeting our cast of characters here. We have Sandra and Jeff. Sandra was played by somebody named Marta Kober. She wasn't really in much. She was in Rad, which is pretty rad.
Fuck yeah, it is.
She played Becky. I don't remember who that is. When I hear Rad and Becky, I think Aunt Becky, who's in Rad.
Yeah.
But that's not her name in that show, in that movie.
Should be. Just to make our lives easier.
We will have to talk about Rad one day because they have a slow dance on BMX bikes at like a school dance.
Send me an angel.
Rad.
Fuck yeah. And I believe that has a really early Red Hot Chili Peppers playing a live show.
I think so.
Oh,
if it's not that, it's Skate or Die. I watched like all those early extreme sports movies. I watched them all in 1 month with the bleeps, and one of them definitely has like, you don't know who this goofy band is, Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Okay, I can't remember because I just watched Rad again recently, but I don't remember.
And you don't remember that?
I don't remember a lot.
Okay.
It's not a great movie.
Just in general.
It's just fun.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
There's another one we'll have to watch that you might not have seen that's a sports movie, or an extreme sports movie called BMX Bandits. It's Australian. It was directed by Brian Trenchard Smith, who did he did a bunch of the Ozploitation movies I like, but one you might know off the top of your head, I know you haven't seen it, but you told me about it, was Stunt Rock.
Which I own. We got to do that at some point, or at least we have to watch it together to see if it's an episode, because otherwise it's like trying to describe a Michael Bay fucking script. Then the car goes, and then it's like there's a wall, and the driver's all, ha! And then the girl's all, ooh.
And we will talk about him later this year, so we'll get there, because he directed Leprechaun 3, and I believe that'll be part of our Halloween that we're doing this year. But yeah, so we have Sandra and Jeff. That's her. Jeff is played by Bill Randolph. Bill Randolph, I noticed, the only thing I noticed in his credits was Dressed to Kill, which is a cool movie, but he's not really in it. He plays a cabbie. So he's just one of those guys. But and we also get to see Crazy Ralph from the first movie.
Yes, we do.
I know. I was so happy. I wanted him just to still be yelling "doomed" at everybody. Like
doomed.
It's like, hey, how you doing today? Doomed. I'm good, but you're doomed. Can I get a number 5 large with a side of fries? Also, you're doomed.
He does come up to them while they're making a phone call to their buddy Ted, and
you can see their truck.
He's literally just like, hey, you're doomed, and like runs off.
Knock. Who's there? You who? You're doomed.
Doesn't tell him that their truck is currently getting lifted up to be towed.
Oh yeah,
dude, that tow truck comes in, like they walk away from their truck, and like their backs are still to it. They're 10 feet away, and that tow truck's already backing in.
I'm glad it was a car prank, because otherwise I'm like, this guy is gung ho about like, do not fucking park here.
Right?
There's signs everywhere.
It's a small town. This is the one curb that says no parking, so also, he just hangs out in the alley right there.
You're facing the wrong way.
Yeah. Don't be a dick. Fair.
But it is a car prank, because it gets towed away, and they chase it all the way down, and they find their friend Ted. I would have jumped
in the back of that thing, dude. Like, you're taking me to the junkyard too.
Exactly what I fucking said. If he could have ran next to the window to yell at him, he could have jumped in the bed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because that's literally, he's like, hey, asshole, that's my truck. And then, like, they just chase it. And I'm like, yeah, it's right there, dude.
Get in. You're athletic. You're spry. You're svelte.
But we meet Ted, played by Stu Charno, who was in Christine.
Oh, dude, Stu Charno is a terrible dish.
I don't know.
We'll give it another try. Can we get some Stu Charno for the table? Spicy, please.
Oh, I didn't try the spicy Stu Charno.
Yeah.
Yeah,
we'll all share it just in case it's not good.
I had a gazpacho style, ice cold.
Oh, it's not supposed to be served that way. You're just at a bad restaurant.
Oh, I was just drunk eating it out of the refrigerator. Didn't have time to heat it up, dude. Come on. You make that face like you haven't done cold stew out of the fridge, out of the reefer.
Was it a fatty stew? Like, was the...
All stews are fatty stews.
Except for this one.
I don't like the chunks of fat. So
you stir them in. Oh, dude, I'll come next time we're drinking. We go to my house. I'll eat all the chunks of fat off the top, and you can have the rest.
Well, no, I like to heat it up and have the fat.
No, that's not an option. I don't have a microwave.
I do, however, love cold pizza and cold Chinese food.
Oh, cold Chinese food is tops. Ooh, no, cold Chinese food is second. Cold fried chicken is tops. Go on.
Right. Derek's like, you all are heathens. You have to heat everything up in the oven.
Cold fried chicken when you're home from the bar is one of the best things in the fucking world, dude.
It is.
Especially when you forget that you have
soggy. And,
ugh. Okay, so am I. Like,
he's got all his teeth, Jack.
Especially when you forgot you had it. You like stumble into your house. You take your pants off. You put on your Darth Vader bathrobe, and you're like, "Oh man, I'm hammered. I gotta have something to eat. All I have here is what's this in the back? Is that flaccid celery? It looks like flaccid celery. Is that cold fried chicken? I think it is."
I think sober you was like, drunk me's gonna love this. Let's talk a little bit back here.
Every now and then the two get along where sober me's like, I'm gonna set you up real nice for today. Other times I'm like, I'm gonna go all day without eating, and then I'm gonna have 16 gins, and your problem.
Yep.
Actually, it's Tucson's problem.
So they head off to camp.
Oh yeah, we just started this movie.
And there's this scene at the beginning where the road is blocked with a log, and I was like, okay, so it's setting up one of them's going to get killed right here.
Yeah.
Nothing happens.
I think it was for her to see the sign.
Yeah, but then they established Camp Blood again later on in the movie.
You can't go there.
And also it's shot just like Derek's saying, where they're like, well, it looks like somebody dragged this out here. Let's move it to the side. Like, this is getting set up for someone to get chopped up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like I didn't have this girl's name yet, and she walked off to go look at the Camp Crystal Lake sign that was in the brushes there, and I was like, well, that's why we didn't get her name. Because she did. Mm-hmm. But she not dead.
She good.
So they're all meeting up at this new camp, basically just for counselor
Camp
training
Granada.
before the camp starts. We meet Paul, who's the head counselor, John Fury or Furry. Not 100% sure on this one.
He looks like Jeff Daniels, Wish.com.
He's in one episode of Cheers.
Oh.
Season 1, episode 16, he plays Larry.
Larry.
Season 1, episode 16. I'm having trouble remembering. Nope, it's not there. I was going through my catalog. I don't have it. Sorry.
I started writing down the episodes because sometimes you'll be like, oh shit, that's right.
Is there a name of the episode?
I'm sure it has a name.
I mean, I know it does.
A random question again. How old was Jason when he died? Like 8 or 9?
I was wondering that too, because he's a fully grown ass man and there's 5 years. Like, let's put this overall freak at 25. Or actually, I mean, we could put him at like 18, 19 if you really, really wanted to, because he is sloth-like.
He died in the 60s or the 50s. Is when the first movie starts, and it's like the 50s. So
that's right, because he's
like
already dead.
30s.
He's already dead in the first one.
Right.
He's just a wrinkled little lake baby.
Yeah, and this movie posits that he never actually died. She was mistaken, and he's been living in the woods like a crazy man.
So. I'm sure you've said these lores are so disjointed. Yeah. Is there anything that explains like the magicness of it going back? I know each one gets a little bit more fantastical, but nothing goes back and says like, oh, actually he was alive because of his mother's love. And then when she died, the hatred got passed on.
I don't think so, but I'm not 100% sure because I haven't.
Though.
The most recent I've watched any of these is us watching them, other than I watched number 9, which is the one that explains that he's actually like a demon worm that lives inside of people and gets passed on. So that could go back to this, but
that old story,
you know, you've heard it once, you've heard it a million times.
Is that the one with the tunnels also?
No, that's the remake.
5.
Oh,
the remake has tunnels. But the episode, by the way, Jack, is called "The Boys in the Bar," and it's where Norm and the gang are afraid that Cheers will become a gay bar.
Oh my God, such a good episode. Is
Larry a gay boy?
I don't know if Larry's one of the gay boys, because it's a whole group of guys that are like, yeah, gay. We don't want those gay. Because one of Sam's old baseball playing buddies came out in like a book that he was gay, and everyone was just kind of like, well, I don't want this place turned into a gay bar. So they find out there's 2 guys in the bar that are gay. Turns out it's 2 that are in the group with him the whole time.
I do remember that episode because I tried watching Cheers from the beginning. That first season gets a while to get through. I think I made it.
Were you drinking?
At least that far? Usually
1 beer each episode. Let's do it.
Hey guys, I don't want to sound needy here.
I'm needy,
but we have a Patreon at patreon.com/worstpeople. Mm-hmm. And it only costs $3 a month.
$3 a month is nothing.
And I know times are hard right now.
Real hard for me.
Inflation's up. You can't afford your groceries.
Can't eat.
But you can afford $3 a month if you love us.
Give us $3.
Super love us.
Please love us.
We're not begging.
I'm begging.
We're not pleading.
I'm pleading.
We're not down on our knees.
Oh boy, my knees hurt. They've been on so long.
But we do kind of need the money.
I need the money bad.
We need new equipment.
We need to do remote podcasts for all of you.
I wouldn't mind eating.
We need to have video.
I wouldn't mind eating.
We need more drinks.
Food sounds good.
So please check out patreon.com/worstpeople.
Please check us out.
You get a bonus episode every month, and we're going to have more content coming for you.
I'll send you pictures.
Thank you guys.
Thank you so much. Please give me
patreon.com.
I'm being held hostage here.
/worstpeople.
If I don't pay my way out of here, they're going to kill me.
We have Ginny, who shows up late to camp. She's Paul's assistant / fuck buddy, played by Amy Steele, who was also in April Fool's Day. So she's got a type. She does these slashers.
I've seen April Fool's Day. I was a wee lass.
I've seen it. I don't remember.
You remember the cover of the movie, though, right?
Oh, yeah. That's because it's the noose ponytail and stuff.
The noose braid.
I just can't remember who she was, but I know she was in it because the internet told me, and the internet never lies.
Not once.
But yeah, she shows up late, basically just to set up that she's fucking Paul.
Oh my God, she comes in a Volkswagen. I told you crusty Germans were coming over. She's got a beat up old Volkswagen.
Das Wagen.
And you know, I like this movie because like I'm trying to figure out how to tell a story here, and there's no story. Like they show up to camp. Paul tells them the story around the campfire about Jason. He does the spooky thing.
The skinniest guy in the world jumps out in a fucking caveman Neanderthal outfit.
Yeah, like,
Yeah.
Like, how did you not know it's him? Like, oh my God, he's 7 foot tall and 110 pounds. That's got to be Stu.
There's no one sitting around the fire reflecting all the light back at us. Where'd Stu go?
My God, it's the fucking creature from the end of Alien Romulus. What's he doing here?
Have you met Ted?
But yeah, he jumps out and scares everyone. And Paul is just basically like, okay, guys, we've all had our fun, but Jason drowned. Miss Voorhees is dead. Camp Crystal Lake is off limits. Shut the fuck up and go to bed.
Stop making jokes about it. You just did the whole spooky story with Stu jumping out with a spear.
Yeah.
You're the one making jokes about it.
We go back to the cabin. Everybody's partying. We got Terry, who's the Midnight Madness girl.
Yeah.
Why isn't Mark named Terry?
Because it's a lady Terry.
No, but like,
Because she has a terrier.
her name was Terry. The boobies were Terry.
Yeah.
The boobies were Terry.
And also, it's not
They
a
weren't
terrier.
Terry
I know
Bull.
it's not a terrier.
Do you know
but
what it is?
It's a dog.
Sort of
It's
Shih Tzu.
A Shih Tzu.
Okay. Well, I knew it wasn't a
Terrible.
terrier, but it worked better for the joke. So, yeah, and she's got her little dog, Muffin, running around. We have Mark.
There's definitely a muffin running around, dude.
Mark, played by Tom McBride from Remo Williams. He's a football player who's now in a wheelchair because of a motorcycle accident.
Yeah, but he doesn't believe the doctors when they say that he'll be in that wheelchair his whole life.
He's training.
You know what? He's got
just your
a
opinion,
good
man.
outlook. He's got a good outlook, to be honest. You know, he's like, hey, the doctors said I'm going to be in this wheelchair forever, but fuck those guys.
When I get back on my feet. I don't think so. Just fucking the doctor from Steel just over and over.
I'm sparking you.
He's got his camera mirrored, so you guys aren't actually poking.
Oh.
You guys actually aren't poking.
And then we meet Vicky as well, who's played by Lauren Marie Taylor. The only other thing I recognized in her credits was a movie called In a Violent Nature, which just came out last year, and it's like a revival of the slasher genre, and it's pretty fucking intense. It's a good movie,
Okay.
and I'm sure that's why she's in it, because someone was like, "Hey, you were in one of them there Friday the 13th movies."
Yeah.
And we have Crazy Ralph watching Paul and Ginny make out. And they're like close up on his face. And he just looks crazy. And then he's like,
Oh, you're doomed. Oh, you're doomed. Oh, doomed.
But then he gets David Carradine basically.
Yeah,
'cause
he does.
He's sitting in the woods jerking off. And then Jason comes up behind him and like garrots him against this fucking
With-
tree.
Is that what that's
Barbed wire.
called? Yeah, it was barbed wire.
Yeah.
Right?
A garrote is the piano wire thing with the wood on it, but he's correct. Like it's just a little overkill. Like just you don't have to
Is
bleed
it?
me out and choke me out. One or the other,
Why not?
please. Because it's just overkill. I don't have that much blood
need
or
both.
oxygen. It's going to be quick. Either way, I'm not in good health. You put any sort of wire around my neck. It's not
He's
going
probably
well.
in better health than a lot of these people. He rides
Yeah.
that bike everywhere.
He doesn't.
Just he's getting good lung exercises, yelling "doomed."
Doomed.
Doomed. Do you imagine him as your Peloton fucking teacher? All right, now you're gonna yell. We're going by the town kids. Yell real loud now. Doomed. Okay, that was good. That was good.
All right,
Now
guys, we're gonna have to pick up the pace. Pedal faster, or else you're doomed.
I ain't got one. If you
no,
don't
my
finish, you're doomed.
Oh, hurry up! The cat's got the doomies.
So Sandra makes Jeff go with her to Camp Blood because she's just wants to check it out. And they
cool,
find
cool
a
name for a place to go strolling.
Well, it's Camp Crystal Lake. Camp Blood is just the nickname.
I'm totally in Sandra's little world right there. I'd want to go. I'd want to go check it out.
Oh, I'd want to go too. I just wouldn't.
Well, guys, they said it was off limits. You can't break the rules in one of these movies or you die.
Yeah.
So I have a death wish.
We've known that. That's not new.
But like they're getting followed around by Jason. They find a dead dog that we assume is Muffin.
Oh, Muffin.
But before anything can happen, the sheriff busts them and drags them back to their camp. And I love when he's talking to Paul and he's like, dude, you're not even going to like reprimand these kids. And Paul's like, okay, sure. No seconds on dessert. I don't give a fuck about you or your local bumpkin laws.
You also don't need to tell me how to treat my staff.
Yeah.
I mean, he does.
I don't tell
them.
you. I don't tell you how to. I don't tell your deputies how to shoot minorities, do I? No, I didn't think so.
He, in fact, punishes them to death. If you think about it, because they get left behind.
Yeah. He also takes that guy's truck.
Yeah.
We'll get there, but. And we do have the sheriff going off, and he spots a man wearing a burlap sack on his head in the woods. So he's like, I'll go walk out there and check this out by myself.
We're going to check this out.
They had this ossifer running for so long. And when he finally gets to this little shack in the woods, he's not panting one bit.
Oh, he's 80s fat. So he's like in good health.
Mm-hmm.
He's just husky. Like if you let this guy go longer, like if he didn't get, startled and killed, like surprise killed by Jason, he could have lifted him and thrown him.
Oh yeah, right out the
window. During the runs, they had him stop every like. Whatever.
Well, when I get the runs, it comes and goes. It stops and starts a lot.
I just live on the toilet.
I cut the hole out of this fucking recliner and I put a turlet in there.
Yeah,
one of these toilets from this shack because
I forgot to put the plumbing in there.
Yeah, so the sheriff is looking around this derelict shack, which first of all, you find the shack. I get it. You're the sheriff. Someone's not supposed to be living here. They are. Don't go in that shack.
No. Oh, no.
That's where that's a murder shack.
Oh, yes. At best, this is a molester shack.
Well, and he opens one of the little closet doors and there's a toilet in there that's filled with like murky soup and it's obviously not hooked up to anything. Why is Jason bothering with a toilet in his derelict wood shack? Doesn't he just
I wondered this. I wondered the same thing. Like for pee-pees, you take a step out the door and just do it. For poo-poos, you just go out a little bit further and dig a hole.
And use a rabbit.
I mean, but he is off, right?
Yeah.
I mean, like he is not all the way there.
This is my 1-bedroom, 1-bath
my God.
apartment.
He does that. He built the toilet for Mother.
There you go.
Oh, okay.
He's like, Mother needs toilet. Hey, you moms. What a little Ray Romano there. Hey, you moms. I'm going to come live with you. The fuck you are.
Took the words right out of my mouth.
Just imagine him snoring.
I like this kill though because dub dub dub.
Kill. Dab.
But I like this kill. Jason comes up behind this dude and brains him with the back side of the claw side of the hammer, which I feel like we've mentioned before, maybe just when we're watching stuff. Maybe it was when we actually did an episode. But people getting hit with a hammer, and it's always the hammer side.
Do you get that claw side? You're working against yourself. Yeah.
Get the claw side going and just fucking brain them.
We can teach you how to be a better murderer.
After the scene, I was like, husband, what do you think was in that room that Sheriff saw that mortified him? And he's like, oh, I didn't even think about that. And I was like, I'm pretty sure it's like Christy, what's her name? Alice? Alice and dead mom.
Yeah, she thought it was Alice's dead body in the room, but we find out at the end of the movie
I knew it was I knew it was going to be something. I was like, all right, it's going to be a reveal. If it was a dead body, we would have just seen it then and there.
Yeah.
It would kind of make sense if it was Alice's because they do talk about her a little bit
during the campfire when
and they're like nobody knows what happened to her. She just disappeared. So like nobody found her body. They don't know that she was murdered. But yeah, so some of the kids like there's a whole bunch of kids here.
It was the whole tiny town, like a model version of like Beetlejuice. The guy was just like, he wasn't horrified. He was in awe. He's like, oh my God, look at it. It's perfect. Down to the
model
hardware
work
store
here.
and everything. Look at there's a fucking whorehouse over there.
He does great with those tiny paintbrushes.
Say what you want about Jason, but he finishes a task.
Yes, he does.
But so a bunch of the kids, and then Paul and Jenny and Ted? I don't know.
Ted.
Ginger guy are going off.
Let's go back to calling him Tom.
Are going off to town to party. Some of them have to stay behind. So we've got Sandra and Jeff
That are told to stay behind.
Terry, and then Terry
And Mark.
and Scott is the one that wants to fuck her, and then Mark and Vicky. Scott,
We
one
are
that
all
wants to-
conveniently paired off.
and Scott is one. While we were watching this, I was trying to figure out who was who. Again, not easy to figure out which character's which.
My brain doesn't want me to fucking know because I'm not going to get used to him.
Scott is the Superman wannabe.
Yeah, and I thought I
Okay.
recognized him the most of anybody, and I definitely did, because he's played by a guy named Russell Todd. He
Russell
was
Todd.
in Chopping Mall, which is an awesome movie that we'll have to talk about one day. It's a mall set
me.
horror movie with the mall.
Oh, you've
basically
talked
puts
about
these
it.
robots in there to be
It's-
security. And
It's
then
the
robots
same
go
mall as
crazy.
Phantom of the
That's
Mall,
Phantom
right?
of the Mall, right?
Yeah.
Same
Is
set.
there a Phantom in the mall.
Yeah. It's a good
Some
movie.
people might ask,
Is there a Phantom in the mall?
it's just Jason in a burlap sack. Can't use the real lyrics to that song.
No.
It's funny though, because so they're going through the trivia and the Wikipedia and stuff. There's so many entries about this is one of the only movies where more than one person survives, because we have the final girl, of course, and then all these people go off to town, and everybody's like, Ted or whatever his name is, he survived because he stayed and kept partying.
Yeah.
Nobody
don't know
mentions
if
the
we-
other 7 kids who also went to town.
I was going to say, there's I think the black kid went.
Yeah.
Black kid went. There was 4 or 5 others, and they all went to town to party, and then
they went to an
just
after
disappeared
hours
from the
bar.
movie. Well, they're not
Jason
even in the
wants
bar.
you-
They're not even in the bar later on. It's just
Yeah, Ted
Paul,
is talking to him when he's
Yeah,
like,
it's just
is-
Paul, Jenny, and Ted. It's
Right. But when he asks the old man, he's like, hey, is there an after party to go to? And he's like, yeah, there is. And he turns around to the other people and he's like,
I don't think they were
yes,
there.
There is.
no, he turns
I
around
think
by
he was-
himself.
Yeah, he was doing that for us.
I'm pretty sure they were off camera.
Well, they're not in the movie, is what I was saying.
Yeah, they're off camera.
That's not in the movie.
I saw them. It's fine.
Basically, tomato.
Potato.
But yeah, so a bunch of kids survived, but everybody's just like, Ted survived.
Sorry,
Either way,
Derek sounded so upset. So a fucking bunch of kids survive.
stupid. I'm not watching a Friday the 13th movie to watch kids live.
I'm gonna give this a 3-star because there was not enough children dying. That's why I got here. That's why I bought my ticket, was to see kids and children dying.
Excuse me, I believe I was promised some children torture.
Derek saw Final Destination last night.
And
I told her, I was like, I'm not going to spoil anything because she wants to see it. But there is a point during one of the things where a child dies, and this kid earned it. He deserved it.
what was he born?
No, I'll tell you later because you don't care. I don't want to
Yeah,
spoil it for her.
damn right I don't.
But this kid dies, and I'm in a pretty full theater, and I was just like,
I will give they don't have enough kids dying in horror movies and slashers,
Right.
so I'll give them some balls for that one. 2 balls.
because everybody was laughing along with a lot of the deaths, but on that one, I think I was the one who just cackled the loudest. I was like, but also, like I said, that kid earned it. Like
And he's sitting in there by himself.
I was alone, and I was just surrounded by people, and I'm just like, dead children.
That shit's tight. Look at that. That kids are tight.
Speaking of tight, Terry strips down naked to go
Yes,
for a
she
night
does.
swim.
Nice little tan line on that chaunch, though.
I mean, we knew right away because she comes. Our first introduction to her is the tightest little fucking booty shorts and a little crop top thing,
Yep.
and no bra. And I'm like, if we don't see her naked, not that I'm trying to be a hound about it, but if we don't see her naked, this movie doesn't know what it is.
Right.
Yeah, and I was disappointed we didn't get to see Sandra naked, but I'm also happy that it wasn't one of those things where she's like, I don't want to do it, and the director was like, you gotta
Right.
do it, doll. So
Yeah.
if she didn't want to do it, she didn't want to do it. Good for her.
Exactly.
So
We did get some side boob, so
We got some side boob.
You got her in a bikini top, and it worked for me.
Yeah, it did.
Horned up. Hashtag horned up.
Oh, I know. When she starts taking her shirt off, I was like, oh, here you go. But she's off camera and then change scene.
Yeah.
So, but I do like this chick coming out of the water, much like a Jason Voorhees, like just tits out of the fucking water.
Yeah.
Like she exits, she breaches in a way that only a great white shark hunting would do, or someone trying to show their nerves. And I'm happy about it.
Or someone trying to free Willy.
She did that year. She freed a bunch of willies. There was a bunch of dudes watching this way too young. Went, ooh, I like that. Huh, I think it moved. Didn't know it did that yet.
Why is it winking at me?
Mom, I'm stiffening up again. I'm having a fucking pants cramp.
Mom, I'm leaking.
Oh, let me clean that up for you.
Oh, gross. The mom's cleaning it up? Not even like a stepmom?
Yeah, if you're calling your mom for that?
Now she's watching Pornhub.
No, it's a little kid that doesn't understand why his dick is getting hard. He's
it's Jason and his mother.
He's not licking that peen.
Why do you think he's so fucked up?
She licked that peen.
Oh. So Vicky and Mark are flirting. Sandra and Jeff go off. I like her thing. So Jeff and Mark are arm wrestling. Mm-hmm. And Sandra, in the middle of their match, is like, if you want to wrestle someone, why don't you go and wrestle me? And he's just like,
don't wear yourself out.
He just lets go. He's like, cool. Yeah, let's go do that. Fuck this arm wrestling shit.
Yeah, this could have been like for $100. And most guys I know would be like, well, lost that $100. Let's go wrestle, lady.
Yep.
He's like, I don't want to hold my friend's hand while I'm getting erect. This is 1981, and that seems really gay.
No homo. I have to stay it. Who's the girl flirting with Lieutenant Dan? Vicky.
Yeah,
I like her style of flirting here because it's barely subtle. It's barely subtle. Like you leave yourself a little. Yeah, because she's like, you want to take me on? He's like, okay. She's like, I only need your fingers. What's that
Video
now?
games.
Oh, I was actually really excited for the other thing.
Right?
This guy's been in a wheelchair for X amount of time. He's got all kinds of fucking strength and dexterity.
Well, you also could just sit on the chair. You have a leg rest and everything.
We don't know what capacity it works in because she asked him.
I may or may not have dated
legs?
somebody in a wheelchair.
He's got.
He's
got a wheelchair with like the foot braces on the front and some sticking out of the back for some reason.
Hold on, question to Whitney.
The gyno leg braces.
The guy in the wheelchair that you dated, was it in Iowa, and did he lose his legs in Iowa?
No.
Okay.
He was born that way, and it was here in Tucson.
All right, just checking.
But while Terry is off swimming naked, Scott steals her clothes, makes her chase him topless through the woods.
Thank you.
And it reminds me of when I was a child. I was probably like 10 or 11, and I was with my neighbors. We were at this park in our neighborhood, and there's a pool there.
Are you sure it wasn't Iowa?
It wasn't Iowa. Because nobody lost a limb. They just lost a top. And these two teenage girls, go into the pool, and they're in the pool swimming around, goofing off, whatever. One of the girls takes off her top, and her friend takes it from her. It was a very small bikini top, and then just like throws it up on top of the fence to the pool, and then like gets out and leaves. So this girl's in the pool.
Not a friend.
And we're all sitting at this little park right next to the pool, and she threw it on the side where the park is, and she went up to go get it, and she's just standing there like, hey guys, like grabbing her top and like just talking to us and like slowly putting it back on. You want to talk about something moved.
Talk about the greatest day of Derek's young childhood.
Yeah.
She was a blessed young lady, and we were all just sitting there like, hi. I was like, this happens all the time. This is normal. No, it's not normal.
Everyone's like, we can't get up right now, dude. I just need to sit here for a fucking second. You want to talk about baseball or grandmas?
Good thing I was sitting on the swing set because I'm not getting off it.
I think I need like 45 more reps, guys.
But yeah, he steals her clothes and runs off into the woods, and he gets caught in this fucking rope trap that hangs him upside down from a tree. And I'm like, good, fuck
There's
this guy.
only one way this rope trap works, and that's if somebody pulls the rope.
No, there's got to be the spring-loaded ones. Did you watch every season of Survivor Man?
It doesn't really matter because he gets hung upside down, and she's like, okay, well, I'm going to go find a knife to cut you down. But don't worry, Jason shows up with a knife.
Exactly, because he was there and he pulled the rope.
I thought she was gonna like tease him a lot more. Maybe even like, well, while I got you up there, fluff him up and then leave him all blue balled.
I said he's at the exact height to give her some face.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, she could just step forward and take down her bikini bottoms there.
It's a free floating 69, dude. They said it couldn't be done.
It's perfect.
They said it couldn't be done.
Yeah, no one has to get suffocated in this one.
It's perfect.
No one has to.
And then she can make him.
It is an honorable way to die, though.
She can make him come in his own face later.
It'd be perfect.
But yeah, Jason cuts his throat with the machete, and I think this is the first machete kill it's definitely the first one for Jason. I don't think Mrs. Voorhees used any, because that's kind of the famous weapon. It's Jason with the hockey mask and the machete.
What did she get her head cut off with?
A machete.
Oh, okay.
So that's the first machete.
So this is Jason's first machete kill.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Okay. But yeah, he cuts this dude's throat and leaves him hanging upside down like a pig, because he is.
Because he is a pig.
And then Terry comes back with the knife, and we don't see her die, do we? She finds
no,
it.
she turns.
She's
fucking aghast and then turns around and gets camera killed, I'd say.
Yeah, that's what it is. And we cut back to Ted, Paul, and Jenny at the bar, and Jenny's talking about how she feels bad for Jason. And we did find out earlier in the movie that she's studying child psychology. Mm-hmm. So that comes in here and at the end, which actually means the guy who wrote this actually thought about things, which is interesting for
more than
movie.
other ones of these.
Yeah.
She or someone drops the hard R. It's either Stu
it's
or
it's her.
Oh, it's her. Okay, because she's like, well, it could be this. It could be a hard R. And she has a actually valid point. Like, he wouldn't know what death and murder is, being so secluded, living with just his mom.
Yeah. Well, and also when she does drop the hard R, it's not like he's a freaking hard
fun.
R.
It's a term of the time.
She's doing it in a medical term at the time. Yeah. She's like he could.
It's a clinical R, not a hard R.
Yeah, he could be a deranged loner. He could be a terrified. I think it's terrified R word or something like that. So, but it is still there. But
but she's at least trying to put him work and humanize him.
Yeah, she's trying to. She's like, maybe he just needs some help. He needs a buddy. He needs a hug.
Mm-hmm.
He just needs a nose boop.
And this is when Paul is like, okay, great, but also he's not real. So
that's all it took was a nose boop. Like the final girl, just like. Boop, boop. Jason just, oh, burb.
Telling me a nose boop doesn't stop an argument?
He goes to try and boop her back and just caves in her skull. Oh, no. All
right, well, the next time Whitney gets really mad at me and we're having an argument, I'm just going to boop, because she just said it always stops an argument.
And that's the day that Derek's finger got broken. He booped his wife when he shouldn't have. Snapped that finger right off.
She's like, why are you telling me this, that, boop. Crack. Snap neck.
Why am I looking at my butt? Oh, I'm dead.
Neither of you heard what I said. Great.
What did you say?
I heard you. She said she'll show me her boobs.
Oh,
I said the next time. I'm just
that can typically stop an argument unless it's about why you keep showing your boobs to everybody, and then you show them like, see, you can't even stop yourself.
Why are you always showing your boobs? See, you're doing it right now.
You don't even know you're doing it.
Also, I appreciate it.
Oh, my
you don't even know you're doing it. Also, thank you. I'm sleeping with the dungeon. I'm assuming master.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People will be able to see it on the when I do the close-ups of you, because the name thing goes away.
Oh.
So.
Oh.
But now back at camp, it's hookup time. Vicky's all sexed up for Mark.
Yeah, she
and
she's
Sandra
ready for
and
it.
Jeff, even though they already went off to wrestle, they just went to the other room to make out. Now they're going upstairs to actually wrestle.
Yeah, well, tongue hockey first, tonsil hockey.
But Vicky is like, okay, well, we're gonna go hook up and we'll find a cabin. We'll find one somewhere.
Yeah.
let me go get some stuff. Let me change real quick.
Let me
slip into
I
something.
don't like the underwear she changed.
Yeah, let me
into.
slip into something more brown.
Okay, I'm not trying to mansplain anything to anybody, but brown is almost never a sexy color than black. Like you had on some nice looking black panties, and you put on these browns. All I can think of is there's going to be some poos made. Like if she's got like
That's exactly what I said. I was like, she's gonna shit herself. That's why she wore brown.
Oh no, they're
pants.
going to do a little butt play, and then she's going to have a leaky cauldron, and you get some poo splatters. It happens. Might as well wear brown pants.
I think it came down to those were silky, and she wanted to put on the silky ones. But brown, I mean, I get
Brown.
19. I don't know a lot about 1981, so
Brown was huge in 81. Brown was making a real big comeback in 81.
well, look at all the houses and the clothing and the fashion from the 70s. Everything.
You got Time
brown,
magazine,
so-
brown, color of the year. Tabloids, you wouldn't believe how black brown is.
But like, it starts to rain, and Mark goes out to look for Vicky.
I believe
and
Chris Brown was around in the 80s.
I don't think so.
No.
And then he just gets
was
fucking
born.
machete. He gets machete to the face. And I'm really disappointed we didn't get to see the rest of this. I guess the dummy probably fell out and it didn't look good or something. Because he gets machete to the face. And
they
this
do a freeze
wheelchair
frame.
goes down the stairs backwards with this dummy in it with a machete sticking out of its face. It is awesome.
It's top notch.
It is. It's pretty fantastic, and you get a freeze frame because it's probably what happened is it fell backwards and.
Yeah, I didn't think about what Derek just said. Like, just sometimes, especially these cheaper budgets, you don't have another shot.
Yeah, like,
You're
we
like,
don't have
hey,
time
we
to
built a
redo
dummy.
this, or-
We built a dummy. We had one time and money for one. Didn't work. Cut it the way you can.
Yeah.
Or you thought it looked good, and until editing was like, that looks like poop.
And then, well, Sandra and Jeff are fucking. They're done fucking, and like, I get it. People cuddle in their own ways, but
He's
like,
Get off me, bitch.
smothering
why?
her.
Yeah, why is he the bigger man? Because she's a small woman, just full on laying on top of her, and then like he lays his entire weight on her, and then lays his face on her face, and he's just
He's
like,
a
"I will
weighted
sleep here
blanket.
now."
He's a weighted blanket, dude. Fucking people love that shit, man.
Maybe she likes that.
Next time you're having a rough day, I'm gonna come over and just put all my weight on you, do like a fucking big old stuffed sloth, and you're gonna be like, "Oh my god, this is great."
Oh.
Except for that pokey thing.
Stuffed sloth.
Yeah, stuffed sloth.
You like my creeper over here?
That's me. I'm gonna put all my creeper weight on your husband, from creeper to sleeper.
I think it may have also had to do with like this girl obviously didn't want to show her boobs, and
Yeah.
you can see that they're right there and they're all pushed down underneath his weight. So maybe him being on top helped to not reveal them.
Yeah,
But
I
either
think
way,
it's
really
fine.
good
It's
in
either
fine.
way,
Yeah.
it's awkward and it's weird. But it does help when Jason comes in and grabs the spear from Ted's little joke earlier, and just jams it through these two because she's the one who sees him at the last second. She doesn't even have time to. Yeah, she's like gasps and is about to say something, and it's just callback to the first movie, right? Kind of, but in reverse
with Bacon?
with Kevin Bacon. Because this time the spear goes in and pokes through the bottom of the bed instead of the arrow
yeah.
going up
Going
and going
up.
through his neck.
Yeah,
Oh,
I like it.
Yeah.
I did really enjoy it. I mean, the only thing I had wrong with the kills was I didn't have enough.
I mean, there was like
More
9
gold.
kids and they're all dead.
Yeah.
And Derek wanted more. 9
did.
kids dead, 6 survive. Don't like those numbers.
Dude, if you go through and do like a kill count thing, you could find more dead in like a Disney movie than in some of these Friday the 13th. It's like a Disney
yeah.
children's movie.
All right, son.
But yeah,
There's more in Star Wars.
Jenny and Paul leave the bar. Ted stays behind. And Paul's like, "Hey, when the bar closes, come back." And he's like, "Got it, sir."
Yep.
Yeah, hiccup. Dude, I like how he's got the bottles on his eyes. Like, I think I'm in love. Nope, just deep attraction, buddy.
Infatuation.
I got these beer goggles. I got the Heineken eyes, and I got Heineken thighs.
Instead of angel
Heisman
eyes, it's Heineken eyes.
Yeah.
These green bottles don't tell no lies.
Heineken eyes.
Oh, and we kind of mentioned it earlier, and I was going to say something and forgot. But like, I think it's funny that Sandra and Jeff had to stay behind because they got in trouble for going to the other camp. But Paul is like, "Well, we've only got 2 cars, so only so many people can come." And when they leave, they take Jeff's truck.
Yep.
I would have been like, "Oh, you've got 2 cars, do you? Looks like maybe you have 1 car."
Swallow that fucking key and get it back in a week.
Because, like, no, you're not taking. I don't get to go to the bar. Then I'm keeping the fucking keys.
Yeah. Dude, you know what? Here's what you do. You have that Volkswagen go into town and buy a fucking bunch of beers and you come back here. We're at cabins, dude. Like, I understand going to a bar, but we're at a cabin. Let's get drunk in the woods.
Because he said it's your last night out in the town before you're stuck here for 2 weeks. Training.
I guess
Fuck the town. Fuck the town, dude. There's no way this bar has anything that you really, really need. You got a cabin. You got a bunch of fucking equal age hot chicks. You got a lake outside of the Stabbies. This is a pretty good time.
You're not wrong.
That's my review on Yelp. Outside of all my friends being murdered, this is a really lovely spot, and we actually had a really good time until we came back to the dead bodies. I can't stress this enough. The dead bodies really ruined the trip, but up until that was a fucking 5-star time.
I did think the severed head altar was a little tasteless, and maybe the Airbnb host should think maybe removing that. But other than that, it was great.
Yeah. It's not my art style, is what I'll say.
Like, Vicky is wandering around. She's the only one left at camp right now because Paul and Jenny aren't back yet. She's looking for Mark. She's looking for Sandra. She walks into the bedroom and sees someone under the bed, under the sheets, and she's like, "Oh, hey, Sandra!" Lifts it up, and we've got burlap sack Jason.
Like blood spots on your sheet. I'm gonna check this out.
We were told to clean ourselves for bears.
Well, we do. I think we do find out that Sandra is on her period. It's Ginny. Never mind. Because he mentions cleaning up after your menstrual cycles because of bears. And then when earlier in the movie, Ginny and Paul are making out and she's like, "I have to tell you something." And he's like, "Shh." And they just keep making out. Then later on, he's like, "Watch out for bears." So
Yeah,
I heard bears can smell the menstruation.
it's true.
But yeah, Sandra gets stabbed. Well, or not Sandra, sorry. Vicky turns around, finds Jeff's body hung off the wall.
Yeah.
And then Jason creeps up on her and stabbo. And like, this is
Jason
one of
likes
those ones where like
you're dead.
this is one of those ones where like this girl deserved it because he walked at her so slowly and she just stood there the whole time screaming. I'm like, you are an inch from the door.
Oh yeah. If anything else, dude, go fucking torpedo style out a window. I don't even care what's down there. It's gonna be better than Jason stabbing you.
Jason does it.
Jason does it all the time.
Yeah, you don't know that he's a supernatural killer yet. You assume if you jump out the window, sure, I hurt my leg, but I can still be faster than this lumbering clown.
True. He hasn't even ran. I don't think his knees bend that way.
Probably not.
Yeah, so now she's dead. So everybody at camp is dead. Paul and Ginny get back. They find the bed of blood.
They wouldn't have done this. This is not a joke.
I don't remember which one of these girls did it, but like, I love the term. She walks in and she's like, "Oh, the lights are out." And then looks, it was unplugged. She's like, "Oh, such and such, you're such a turkey."
Terry.
You're such a turkey. Calm down with the fucking foul mouth. Oh, foul. Get it? Turkey? Got it.
Oh, thanks for explaining it for me. I didn't get it.
Well, mansplaining, what you don't understand is mansplaining is short for man explaining.
Okay.
Is it? I'm just kidding. But I love Ginny is like, "Hey, Paul, there's someone in this room." And then Jason leaps out with the spear and she's like,
"Oh, there's somebody in the room!
Someone in the fucking room!"
And then proceeds to stand there while you watch your partner, at least, if nothing else, he's your partner, get his, like, in a tussle. I'm going to be over there hitting Jason with whatever I can. Whitney, if you're watching Derek in a fight, you're not going to sit there and be like, Derek.
Reverse those roles.
Well, yes, absolutely. Whitney.
No, Derek would grab the closest thing and smash the person.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially if it's some sort of overall potato sack head that's coming at you with a knife, your gun's to get chaired.
I need to defend my husband's honor here. I'm just the scrappy one, and I will get in anybody's fucking face. Derek is just like, "You're not worth my." Well, people don't.
They've listened to this podcast. They know who the aggressor is in the relationship, and they know who has trouble looking people in the eyes.
I just wanted to defend my husband.
Also, in this case, though, you know that this guy murdered people because you haven't seen a body, but you saw a bed filled with blood. This guy jumps on your fuck buddy, and they're wrestling around on the ground. Like, yeah, walk over there and hit him with something. Like, do anything.
He doesn't look like he's gonna like have an idea of what's going on. He has the look of someone that killed.
Yeah.
Anybody with a sack over their head has the look of someone who killed.
Just one eyeball.
Or wants to.
Yeah. So she like runs away, and I did really like actually the tension here, even though her move is kind of stupid. She runs into the bathroom and she's like holding the door closed. He's trying to get in, and she's like reaching for the window to open it, but like she keeps one hand on the door as if she's holding it closed. But by the time she's reaching the window, her fingertips are just touching the door handle.
He wasn't trying to get in. She was just holding it tight.
Well, he does at first, just for a second, and then he stops.
Oh, okay.
But she keeps holding it. But like at the point when she reaches the window, her fingertips are still touching the door handle. Like if you're just touching it with your fingertips, you're not going to stop anything.
No, it's home base.
Move your whole body over. Move your whole body over. Slam that window open and bounce. And you could have got out of there before he did.
I think she was just trying to be quiet.
She wants to make. She's trying not to get.
As long as you're touching, you can't get. You can't.
He's this close to getting all the other oxen freed.
But he smashes through this bathroom window and starts chasing around with a pitchfork. Smashes it through the door. It's a whole, pursuit scene. We find dead crazy Ralph.
Yes, we do.
She pees so fucking much at one point when she's under the bed.
I think that's the rat. I thought the same thing. Yes, I'm pretty sure it was the rat that peed.
That rat pissed a puddle that was the size of a rat.
Did you ever have rodents?
God, no.
Oh, I used to have hamsters. They pee a lot.
Well, why would this mouse just come over here and just pee?
Why not?
A weird scene. I thought for sure it was her peeing.
And it's funny because that scene actually we just saw, and if Zip was here, he could talk about it with us because it was in the Prowler last time we had Zip on. Mm-hmm. There was a girl hiding under the bed and the rat showing up, and you're waiting for her to scream or make noise because of the rat.
I was like,
same year as this
familiar.
though. So same year.
So no one's ripping anybody off. We just had the same idea.
Yeah, I don't know when the Prowler came out. Maybe they saw it and were like, let's do that. Tom Savini was like, damn it, I wasn't on that Friday the 13th. I thought it was going to be stupid. You know what we're going to do with this one? We're going to make a rat scare a little girl.
But we're going to make the rat piss.
But I do like that when she finds Ralph's dead body, it's in the pantry. Because if you guys remember in the first movie, he was hiding in the pantry. When the girl opened it, he was like, "You're doomed."
He's dead right now, but he's got just a fucking handwritten sign that says "doomed."
The wind blows through his mouth and out through his neck hole, and just goes.
His last breath is beat out of as he falls down.
Doomed. He can't form words with his mouth because the breath is just coming out of his neck hole. So it's just ooh. Ooh.
You know what he means.
But yeah, she runs to the car, and this is the music in this one is Manfredini that did the first one.
Yeah,
it's pretty good, I think, most of the time for what this movie is. But this scene right here, I don't know how familiar you guys are with the original movie Psycho. This is the exact
not much.
It struck me as the exact music from the scene where Janet Leigh is driving the car down the freeway before she gets to Bates Motel. It's this like it's it's almost exactly the same music, and it even ends with like a dun dun dun.
So you're saying it's just lazy?
It did
Manfredini knew it. He called it an homage.
Yeah, you can call it whatever you want if you're copying.
But yeah, this is the only time that I can recall in the series where a girl gets away because she's hiding in the car and he stabs through the top of the car with a pitchfork. She gets out and kicks this dude square in the fucking nuts.
Yeah,
yeah.
I think it's the only time I've seen Jason kicked in the balls.
Not enough of that going around, ladies.
No, kick him in the balls.
Because we were always told not to do it.
Well, if your life depends on it, kick away. Like
definitely.
Beckham.
Yeah, bend them like Beckham.
Like bend those nuts like Beckham.
Got it.
No, I do like when she gets out from under the bed because she looks around and Jason's feet are gone. And so she's like, okay, cool, I'm going to get the fuck out of here. She comes out and he's just standing on this chair like, gotcha, bitch. And the whole chair collapses under his fucking sloth-sized weight.
Exactly. He's a rookie. He's a rookie killer right now. Later, Jason would know how to like hold on to the roof one-handed, and stab like that. This guy's like, I'll stand on this chair. Oh, no, I'm way too heavy for this chair.
Yeah, because this being part 2, this is still just like deranged madman in the woods, Jason.
It's
his first time killing.
This isn't supernatural serial killer, Jason.
Yeah. You say you never busted something your first time? At least a condom.
A cherry?
Ooh.
But she does grab a chainsaw and she does hit him, but then she puts it down. Much like part
Hence
5.
my name.
Yeah, she
I
was,
was
she
sodomized
was
his
yelling
ass.
in the living room, sodomize him with that chainsaw.
I mean, if nothing else, just take it across the chest.
Well, his ass was in the air.
I was expecting it to be, because she's had a terrible string of luck with cars and motors, that I thought it was going to be that thing. Like,
Yeah.
because he's kind of like backing up, like, oh no, don't do it. And then it turns off. And I'm like, just try starting it again. Like,
Yeah.
try.
Well, it's like, but that would be, they do that in part 5, right? Because isn't that the one where they're up in the rafters of the barn
Yeah.
and she's trying to start it. But same thing in that one. She hits him. They have like a sword fight. And then she puts it down. It's like, stop putting down the weapons.
Ladies, kick Jason in the nuts and bring a chainsaw.
Sodomize him.
But she runs off and finds this cabin. And again, she's like, oh, someone to help me. I'm like, no, this is obviously derelict madman cabin.
This is a murder
Yes.
cabin.
This is
Look at this cabin. I wouldn't go into it.
See, this is a stabbing cabin, and normally that sounds like a place you go to bang, but this is a different type of stabbing cabin.
Sure enough.
My parents own some.
Welcome to
Some
my
property.
murder nook.
My parents own some property up in northern Arizona. Like, it's just a bunch of big empty space, right? And my brother and
Arizona?
when we were younger,
Northern, yeah.
we used to go out and just wander around. And I don't know if it's on their property or a neighboring property because there's no lines, but we found a bunch of old houses that were like, obviously there was a fire in one. There was some unfinished stuff. These old, like, rundown houses. And we went in and looked at them, but they don't look like this. They look like it was going to be nice, or maybe it was nice at some point. But even then, when we walked into them, I would like tell my brother, who was 6 years younger than me, and I was probably like 14, like, all right, just if you hear any weird noises,
Run.
or if you think there's somebody
We got
there,
a bolt.
run as fast as you can and avoid tunnels. No, I didn't say that part yet. But like those were like houses, like real structures. If I found this, I'm not going in it.
Yeah,
Right.
this is more like parts put together, like car hoods and aluminum siding.
It's Steel's. It's the Steel Cave from Steel. It's a
That's
pile
just a
of
pile of
garbage
junk.
with a door.
Absolutely.
But she does go in there and she finds this altar of death. And we have Mrs. Voorhees' severed head sitting in the middle of the table, and it's surrounded by all the other dead bodies
Yeah,
because he's starting to form his thing. He's like, you know what? I like to move dead bodies.
Yep.
Yeah.
So,
I was having a lovely tea party.
would you like some tea, Terry? Let me see them TTs again.
The name is Mrs. Nesbit.
And then out of nowhere, fucking Paul shows up again.
Well, that's right after, because Jason comes in.
Oh yeah.
And she uses Ginny uses her
That's
child
right.
psychology. She puts on Mrs. Voorhees' bloody, dirty sweater, and I was like, is she about to peel off this face?
I was
That's
wondering,
what I thought
dude.
what was gonna happen.
Silence of the Lambs.
I think it's because she sees the head and she's like, oh, Mrs. Voorhees was blonde. I'm blondish. This will
But
help.
the cut made it look like, all right, well, here goes
Or-
nothing.
I think
Yeah.
she was contemplating throwing the head, like hiding the head, so he didn't see it.
Yeah, but she just stands in front of it and she starts yelling at him like, oh, Jason, listen to mommy. Mommy's talking to
done.
you. You've been
It's all
such a
done.
good
Mother.
boy. Yeah.
Mother's talking.
Kneel down
Mommy.
in front of me. Like, I'm like, your mother tells you to kneel?
This
don't know
this
about
one
that.
does. My Dommy mommy might.
He spots the head behind her. It breaks the trance, and she gets a wound that will cause her to lose her leg.
Oh yeah.
Because he hits her with this rusty pickaxe, and this is pretty brutal looking. Like through the the calf, just this gnarly cut. And that's when Paul shows up because he didn't get killed; he just got knocked out. They wrestled,
They
He got up. He got up again. Never gonna keep Paul down.
and they have a little tussle, and she like just chops this machete deep into Jason's shoulder. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, she is an inch from his heart. That's how deep that fucking thing
Oh,
is.
She went through the
Yes.
clavicle. I don't think she went through the clavicle. I think the clavicle stopped it.
Oh, it's further than the clavicle because it's like the way they have
Yeah.
it done. It's like up in his pecs. Like it's coming out. Like that's a cut.
Mm-hmm.
And
But
then
she didn't take the machete out, so it kept all the blood inside.
Yeah, which I know is a real thing, but it's just like once it's that far down, man, you could just shoot me. Machete in or out doesn't matter. I'm not gonna fucking live through this. Also, that machete, did you pull it out of the indoor toilet? Because that's just a collection of vomit.
Yep.
She pulls off his mask. We don't see the face, but we do see Paul's reaction to it. And then they leave, and they're victorious, right?
He has to
Right?
carry
Movie's
her
over.
through the woods.
Yeah, he carries her home. They go back to the cabin. There's someone at the door. There's noises outside.
They're freaking
Oh my
out.
God, what's going to happen?
Somewhere at the door, something.
What is the plan here? Because the door opens out, right?
No, it opens in.
It does open in?
Yeah.
Well, she's laying on the bed with the pitchfork. Facing the door.
She's waiting with the pitchfork, and he has the handle of the pitchfork. Like he's just
I
going to
was
bonk
kind of
Jason.
fuck yeah, dude. I was kind of well, he's got a machete in him. Just keep hammering it down further.
I mean, there's
I was
a stabby stab at the other end.
I was expecting Stu or one of these fucking people that went to town to come in and somehow get like flung into the pitchfork. Like a final like accidental kill, you know, like, well,
That would've been
Jason's
awesome.
that wasn't Jason. You can't blame Jason for that one.
Yeah, but instead, I don't really know what happens. First, they open the door, and it's Muffin. Muffin's not dead.
Yay! Save the dog.
The only character I cared about lived.
Yes.
They honestly were just like, let's make Jason not that hateable. Like, yes,
Yeah.
he's murdering people, but he left the dog alone. He's not that evil.
The dog's not smoking pot or having premarital sex. So
Exactly. Well, dogs can't get married, dude.
I do like that one
Not in this
point when
country.
they, right before they find the bed of blood, Paul finds a joint and he like smells it. He's like, they're smoking better shit than me.
I gotta fucking get one of these counselors to get me a hookup, dude.
Right?
But Jason bursts through the window behind her.
Yeah.
And we just kind of get one of those like slow motion freeze frame fade out things. And
Freeze
we don't really
frame.
see what happened.
Also, the cut made it look like two people jumped in, and there was two of them, and I was very confused for a second.
Yeah, because they kind of break the 180-degree rule here.
Yeah.
Like it goes from one side to the other, and it's like she thought there was two people, but it's Jason without his mask, so
Yeah.
we see his lumpy face.
Sloth like.
Yeah.
Very.
His least mutated face in the series. And then
Oh,
we
wow.
cut to the next
pretty
day,
mutated.
and she's being taken into the ambulance, and she's just asking, "Where's Paul?" Nobody's answering her.
Yeah, I didn't get it either. Like, is Paul dead? Did Jason like leap through the window, gitched her, and then killed Paul, and then wanted to leave her alone because you have to have a final girl?
You know what? I bet we'll find out at the beginning of episode 3.
I don't know if we will.
I feel like they do a
In the
recap on
flashback,
every one.
they'll tell us.
Because remember
What is-
when we watched 5 and 7, they did a recap of 4 and 6?
I know, but from what I've understood from Derek is like these don't care about each other much.
Shit, the 1 and 7 I think did a recap of all of them because I'm pretty sure it showed the wheelchair.
It did.
Oh wow!
They're like, "Hey, you guys remember 4 years ago and 5 movies ago?"
Don't like those numbers.
I'm sure that's a little off, but
Not my.
and
bud.
then the movie ends on a freeze frame of Mrs. Voorhees' head. However, I know what you guys were waiting for because it's a slow push in on the head.
Yeah, I was
You
waiting
can
for
tell-
that eyes,
blink.
eyes
You
open.
can tell this is not the same head that was on the table before. This is a person in makeup. There was supposed to be an eyes open scene, and then decided to change it at the last minute. So they just went with a freeze
frame.
because I think maybe they were like, that's a fridge too far, guys. We can't
Too far.
Nice.
we can't do this one. So
Yeah, I mean they could have. They could have started the demon thing earlier. That's all it would have been. It's like mom's possessing her head from hell.
yeah, I mean, I think it's just that as they go along, they're like, well, this one made 21 times its budget, so I guess we're gonna have to make another one. Oh,
Yep.
that one made 20 times its budget. We're gonna have to make another one. So they just got to figure it out as they go along.
Yeah.
There's no overarching plan. This isn't Marvel. This isn't an MCU or Star Wars where somebody wrote all of it
Oh,
in a notebook.
okay.
in the
Calm down
60s.
with the Star Wars because we're talking the sequel trilogy had no idea what it was doing.
Oh no! George Lucas wrote all those ideas down in the 60s, dude.
And a notebook, bitch.
It's got a little tauntaun on it.
I actually mailed it to myself and haven't opened it. And if you want, we can open it now.
You can even judge how old the paper is.
It's so old that it actually doesn't exist because there's no paper in Star Wars, bitch.
It's paper.
So that's the end of the movie. So we'll do recommendations. We'll start with my lovely wife.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun. It's Friday the 13th, dude. You gotta watch it. It's just throwback to awesome old 80s slasher flicks, dude. You gotta love them. You gotta appreciate them.
Yeah, I will recommend it. It wasn't like the best time ever, but it's exactly what it's supposed to be. It was in and out. Sitting here talking to you guys about it made me think like it's going to be much more enjoyable when there's people around.
Yes.
I did buy it on Amazon for $5 because I paid for Catwoman. Like I paid for this. So, yeah. And I will put this on during Halloween with or without the sound, kind of one of those things. Cause it is, it is fun enough. There is the hot girls, there is kills. So yeah, I recommend it.
Yeah, I'll give it a recommend too. I think out of the ones that we've talked about so far, which is 1, 5, 7, and this one, aside from number 1, the original, because that's the one that's the most a movie. This has been my favorite one so far because it's just like get in, get out, kill some people, call it a day.
Yeah,
we're not worried about setting up all these backstories that don't matter. We're not worried about we get a little comment here about like, oh, I played football and I had a motorcycle accident. And we get a little comment there about whatever, but like. It's just like, look, these kids are called. This is Dead Meat 1. This is Dead Meat 2. Let's get through this.
This is Camp Red Shirt.
Zip obviously would recommend this one. This is his.
He did.
One.
Yeah, I think he said it was his favorite one.
Yeah, pretty sure, and I can see why. Because like Derek just pointed out, like your fucking setup time is a blink of the eye. They spent more time with a recap than they did setting up, and then it was let's go.
4 might be his favorite one, but he loves 2 because of the burlap sack.
Jason X is the fun, or Jason in Space is the funnest one, and this is his favorite one.
Yeah, and I think it's before they got, it's the least goofy. I mean, sure, suddenly Jason's actually been alive the whole time, and it's silly, but like after this, it gets even sillier and sillier. Because in this one you don't see him get killed, so you don't know what happened. Any of that, like all the other ones, it's like we lit him on fire and exploded him, but he came back somehow. Like
somehow Jason returned.
Yeah, that's where George Lucas, that's where Star Wars got it. So it's time to draw the next movie. So what we have left now, because we've done a few,
3,
run through
4,
these real quick. Yeah, part
6,
3,
8, 10.
3, 4, 6, 8, 9, 10, and Freddy versus Jason.
Ooh. I'm rooting for Freddy versus Jason. You know that, bitch.
You get to hear Kelly. You get to hear Kelly Rowland use gay slurs in that movie. So.
Fuck yeah, dude.
She calls Freddy an F-bomb at some point.
Yeah, that sounds about appropriate for that year.
So I'm putting him in the murder bag. My
and he gets
murder
it.
Bag.
Don't forget your magic murder bag.
4.
Give him a little mix up.
Come on, Freddy versus Jason.
Hold on.
I handed wife the magical murder bag.
Ow!
These are all the Blu-rays from my sweet Shout Factory set, guys. And I'm disappointed because it took me forever to buy this because it's so expensive. So I waited until it was cheap somewhere. And then now this year, Arrow Video is starting to put them out on 4K. And I'm like, I refuse.
Yeah.
Blu-rays are good enough, but the 4Ks would have been cool. What do we got?
We have 8.
Jason Takes Manhattan.
Yes.
Jason drinks in Manhattan?
New York has a new problem.
Oh, man. they got a lot of old ones, too, though, guys.
When will we be watching that?
Next year.
So, next year. So I'll remember probably. So the next Friday the 13th, there's only one this year. But next year we got a whole
And
mess
it was
of them.
actually Jason's birthday, by the way.
Oh.
June 13th, Friday the 13th.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
All right.
It's my grandson's birthday, too. He turned 5.
But the next one will be February of 2026. So we have February 2026, March 2026, and November 2026. We'll have Friday the 13th. So we've
the
got
November
a bunch
one's
coming
going
up
to be
next
excellent.
year. And as we get further down, we're bound to get one of the awesome ones.
Yeah, we have to eventually.
But so February of 2026, we will be talking about Friday the 13th, Part 8, Jason Takes Manhattan. I think that's the one where him and the Muppets no, that's Muppets Take Manhattan. Never mind. We could do a crossover. We can do both. We'll do Muppets Take Manhattan and Jason Takes Manhattan and see which one's scarier.
All right.
Equal parts.
Also, if I remember right,
show me a Jason Muppet.
I've only seen this one once. I saw it on TV. I think it was on like AMC or something, which seems appropriate for like American movie classics or whatever AMC is supposed to stand for. But I think most of it takes place on a boat, like a river boat that's going from New Jersey to New York, which I think doesn't exist. There's not a river that would get you to Manhattan from New Jersey, from what I understand.
We'll have to do some research on that. Quick Google.
And then also they're in Manhattan for probably like 15 minutes. But hey,
he was in it.
People are going to die.
In the title.
So thank you guys. Our next episode, we will continue our superhero
spectacular.
Almost lost it there. With Catwoman this Monday, which we've already recorded, and it's a doozy. Jack's favorite movie of the year. And then, of course, we have our Patreon at patreon.com/worstpeople. This month's Patreon mental health exclusive episode is Superman from 1978. And then
is this the one with Christopher Reeves? When do we get him?
And then on Cop Rock, or on Latchkey Vids, we're talking about Cop Rock, episode 6,
Previously
Oil of
on
Olay.
Cop Rock.
Yeah. We just recorded that episode yesterday, and it's a fun one. So
love Cop Rock. Can't get enough.
both the show and our episode, I think, turned out pretty good.
Cody really likes Cop Rock too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Cody, you're gonna like it.
He was very disappointed when we took a break for Heil Honey, I'm Home.
But you had that introduced to your life, so
yeah, so you're welcome. Well, thank you guys for tuning in. I've been Derek.
I'm Whitney.
I'm Jack.
It's Muffin.
Muffin.
I like beer. I like beer. I like beer. I like beer in the morning. I like beer in the evening. I like beer. I got beer. I got fucked up and busted. I got friends who can't be trusted. I like beer. I like beer.
Boom.
That's a Bleep and his father original.